All right, expressions. This video is going to be a tutorial on how to do simple expressions for middle school. Let's get right into it. An expression. Expressions are a way of putting words into math-looking equations. The big difference is expressions don't have an equal marks. So you're going to have just some words, and then you're going to put it into an expression in math form. So some number plus 13. So you want to put some letter. Could be an X, could be a Y, could be a W. You can use any number you want if it says some number. So that's X plus 13. Some number times 6. So you want some number. And you're going to, let's see, I'm going to choose W and then times 6. Now, here's what we don't do. We don't use this X because now we're getting into algebra and that's going to mean a letter. So we don't write it that way. So some number times 6, W, I'm going to say, that's fine. But the way we write it is 6W. You always put the number first. That's why. Some number divided by 8, it's the same thing. You want some number, and it's got to be, I'm going to do like M divided by 8 or M divided by 8. The key is M or whatever letter you choose is on top. So there is an example of the first one and the second one. 7 less than a number. All right, this one gets a little bit tricky because is it 7 minus a number or is it a number minus 7? So which one is it? Is it 7, let's say 7 minus y, or is it y minus 7? And 7 less than a number turns out to be this one. It's not this one because this is 7 less than a number. And in this case, I use W. 9 less than a number, so some number, and then minus the number, which is 9. X minus 9. So the big thing here is everything's in order for these, except if you have something less than, then it's kind of reversed. A number less than 15. So once again, is it W minus 15 or 15 minus W? So it's a number less than 15. So it's a number less than 15. So it's that one. I used Y on this one. All right, 8 less than 3 times a number. All right, so one way to kind of look at this is gets a little more complicated. So you got to kind of do each part. Let's just do 3 times a number. That's going to be, let's say, 3Y. And then 8 less than that goes over here. So 8 less than 3 times a number. And there it is. 7 less than the product of 4 and a number. Product here means times. So 4 and a number times. So it's going to be 4. I'm going to do W. 7 less than that. So minus 7. And I use W on that also. 3 times the sum of a number and 5. So once again, the sum of a number and 5 is like Y plus 5. And then 3 times this. So I'm going to do 3 times all of that. So do all of that, I got to put in parentheses. And there you have it. I don't want to do this because this X here, you're trying to say is multiply, but in algebra terms, that's a letter. So this would not be read correctly in algebra. So don't do it that way. Just put it right beside the parentheses. And there it is. Twice the difference between a number and 5. Okay. Twice the difference between a number and 5. So the difference between a number and 5, I want to do first. Difference is subtraction. So a number, I'm going to make it y minus 5, twice that. So it's just 2 times that. And that's all you do. And there it is. I use W on that. The quotient of a number in 5, quotient, it just means division. So it's going to be W divided by 5, or X divided by 5, or Y divided by 5. The quotient of 6 in a number, that's going to be the opposite. It's going to be 6 divided by a number, 6 divided by Y. The quotient of the sum, look at this one. The quotient of a sum, the quotient of the sum of X plus 4. So the sum of X plus 4, which is kind of redundant, saying sum and plus, but the sum of X plus 4 and 2. So the quotient of that. All right, and there's your quick tutorial for expressions.